Hey guys, welcome to Comics and Movies. I'm ComicManJake, and here in the Comic Cave, anything can happen. Tonight, I'm going to talk about it. Thanos, I don't care what you say anymore. I'm breaking the silence. I saw Infinity War for the second time in about a week. And I have to say, it's that good. It is that good. And to anyone watching this right now, I'm giving a big warning right now. I am covering this. I will be reviewing spoilers. I will be talking about the movie because I have to talk about what aspects they have taken from the movie from the comics. But anyway, let's get started. So, the one thing that you guys got to realize is that this movie shouldn't really have been called Infinity War. The actual comic they actually took it from was Infinity Gauntlet. Infinity Gauntlet was written by Jim Starlin back in the 1970s, 1980s, I want to say. And basically it was, that was Thanos' big rising. There was a whole big event. There was Infinity Watch, there was Infinity War, but this wasn't Infinity War. They took a lot from that. The whole, he can snap his fingers just like that and wipe out half the universe. That's from Infinity War, Gauntlet. He did take that from that. And another one that they took it from, a lot of the comics from, is from the series Infinity. Jonathan Hickman wrote it in the late 2000s, along with, and it ran with his New Avengers and Avengers run on Marvel when Marvel Now came out. And that's where you see the Black Order. The Corvus Glaive, the guy with the huge spear, Proxima Midnight, the girl on the team, Ebony Maw, the guy who couldn't stop talking, the guy who tortured Doctor Strange. And then the one big grunt is called Black Dwarf. They called him something else, but his name is Black Dwarf. And what they done is just an amazing thing. They did an amazing job following comic lore and making a good movie with it. It satisfied my comic book nerdiness, and it satisfied my film critiquing, just watching this whole thing. Now, here's some things that they took and they didn't they didn't do because of certain things. For instance, in Infinity Gauntlet, there is that scene in Infinity War. You see, there's a scene where Hulk crashes into the Sanctum Sanctorum and Doctor Strange in there, and all he talks about is Thanos is here. Thanos is here. In Infinity Gauntlet, that's not the case. It's actually the Silver Surfer. The Silver Surfer is the one that takes the whole warning and aspects. Now, you might ask, well, why don't I have it? Well, Fox owns anything related to Fantastic Four or X-Men. That's why it was such a huge deal when people were talking about a lot of people were talking about the Disney deal, and it's going to be a huge monopoly, but a lot of people were more excited about Marvel finally has all their rights, except for Sony. They have Spider-Man, but they don't have the whole Spider-Man universe. They don't have the Hulk, because Hulk is actually owned by Universal Studios. That's why we haven't seen a Hulk movie in a very long time. They probably have some sort of deal where they can put them in the movies, but they don't. It's the same probably thing with Sony, what that Sony does with Spider-Man. If anything is a standalone Sony Spider-Man movie, Sony has to make it, and Sony earns the money. But Spider-Man's allowed to be in the other Marvel movies, if you like Avengers and all that other stuff. And when he's in those, Marvel makes the money off it. But yeah, they took that one from it. Again, the whole powers of Ebony Maw, like the whole torture scene they had of Doctor Strange, was kind of relevant to what he did in Infinity. He didn't torture him per se, but he manipulated him. So it was kind of interesting on that point. I saw that, was kind of like, oh, that's a nice aspect. Another one that people were asking about was, another thing that they took from the comics that they kind of brought to life, but in a different type of way, was the Nebula scene. Now here's a spoiler, okay? So there's a scene after Gamora gets captured by Thanos. she talks to Thanos, basically saying like, I hate this room, I hate your mission, blah blah blah, and he's like, well, I need to know where the Soul Stone is. Well, I don't know where it is. And then they walk into a room, and there's Nebula, like, pulled apart. Like, all her organs, all her things, I mean, they're just up. Because she's basically all machine. And she's literally on the brink, I mean, she's like crying. She's on the brink of death. And, you know, he basically tortures her. And, like, as he does it, he just kind of just twists his arm. And, it starts hurting her. Bringing her basically to the point of almost death. In the comics, Nebula is not related to Thanos. Nebula doesn't even look like that. She's actually like a space pirate. She actually looks really cute. And she just proclaims that she's Thanos' granddaughter. Now, Thanos hears about this, gets really mad, and basically has her like immobilized and brought almost to the brink of death. Like, he has her as like a living corpse. She can't do anything. She can't talk. She's not dead though. Like, she's on the, like, just on the tidbit of death. But that doesn't happen. Overall, this movie is something that's very comic related. I would definitely recommend picking up Jonathan Hickman's new Avenger run with the whole Avenger run and his Infinity run. If you want to know more about like the Ebony Maw and the whole Black Order, they're really badass. Actually, they're really cool. Corvus Glaive is one of my favorites, mainly because and they didn't do this they kind of didn't explain this in the movie, but what his kind of power he can do is he cannot die as long as he is holding that spear. Like, he'll replicate. He'll reproduce himself, basically. And it's really kind of cool. You know, as long as he's touching the spear, he can't die. But if he's not touching the spear, he can die. Kind of an interesting concept. So, like, when I saw, like, Vision, or Cap, or was it Cap or Vision? One of those two, Vision. Yeah, when he stabbed him and, like, threw him to the side, and, like, the first thing I was screaming at the thing, I was like, get the spear away from him! Get the spear away from him! And, yeah. That didn't happen. But another thing that they changed a lot was Thanos' ultimate goal. In the movie, his goal seems to be more about population control. You know, I'm doing everyone a favor by destroying half the universe, because then, you know, it saves the resources of the universe. And my defense to that is, well, why don't you just make more resources with the Gauntlet? But in the actual Infinity Gauntlet, the whole actually comic related thing, he doesn't care about population control. He is actually in love with death. Death is an entity. It's an entity, and he is absolutely madly in love with it. Like, if you read the actual comics, Death is a girl. And he is constantly doing stuff to court death. And that's what the one thing that they brought up in, I think, the first Avengers, was they said something would be to court death. And then, like, you see Thanos on the side, and he just smiles. Because he's supposed to court death. He's madly in love. He'll do anything to get her love. The one thing that they added in, though, in the movie that I was kind of weirded out by is the Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy were not in the original, they weren't in the original, what's it called? Shoot. They weren't in the original Infinity Gauntlet, nor do I think they were in the Infinity series. Now, don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've read it, but I don't believe they're in it. They could be, but I don't believe they were in that particular series at that time. They had to be added in. The whole Gamora and Peter Quill thing, that has happened. And yes, in the comics, she is the daughter of Thanos. Let's get that straight. She is the daughter of Thanos. She's the most deadly person, and she is the daughter of Thanos in the comics. They kept that true. Drax the Destroyer. I'm glad they kind of kept the newer Drax, because what Drax the Destroyer does is he could die and come back, but he had a completely different body and kind of different DNA and stuff. And it was kind of cool. In Annihilation, which was kind of like a reborn of Drax. Like, Drax came back, basically died, and he was dumb. I mean, he was like, Drax do this, Drax do that. He kind of sounded like the Hulk. You know, Hulk do this, Hulk do... It sounded like that, and he was really, really dumb sounding. And they killed him off in Annihilation, and brought him back, and he was much more intelligent. He was basically the Drax that we know now. They kind of combined the two. You know, metaphors don't go over my head. They kind of combine the two on that. Because he doesn't take things like that in the comics, like a metaphor like that. But overall, was this relative to the comics? I'd say it's an 8 out of 10. Mainly because, again, they couldn't use all the characters because of movie rights. And that's my main issue, was the you know, if you're going to go big, then yeah, go big. But well done, Marvel. I mean, well done. You guys did a fantastic job making a fantastic movie that I will probably see for a third time. I mean, third, fourth, fifth, I don't care. I am going to be seeing that again. And just for you guys to let know, this Friday, we are going to be having a little kind of podcast thing. If any of you guys have seen the show, The Weekly Poll, I know I pronounced this last Friday, but I'm just bringing it out there again. If anyone's seen The Weekly Poll, we're going to be kind of doing something like that. But instead of it being like all comic book guys that know stuff, we're going to be doing more of me and Tucker, who are myself and my best friend Tucker Marks, who are very well knowledged in comic book lore and comic book related things. My good friend David Vielik from his channel, David Vielik, who's a vlogger. You guys might have seen him on his C2E2 page that he did with me. I was in that with him. Those are our adventures that we went. That's when I decided afterwards to do this channel. He's more of a film guy. He's getting more into the comics, but he's slowly doing it. And he's doing more of the comic book on the movies, the movie things. And then I have a friend that he wanted to just jump in. I invited him to do it, and he has nothing to do with the comics, and he's seen most of the movies. So it's kind of like two guys with the movie lore and two guys with the comic book lore, and we're just going to kind of discuss things and theorize things. And we're going to do a lot of things on that. We're going to be doing more on we're going to be talking some comic book news and then probably some other things. So check it out. This Friday, it's going to be coming up. It's going to be basically, we're going to record it, and it's not going to be any editing. So as soon as it's done recording, we're going to be uploading it right on Friday, and I'll be getting it on Friday at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Check it out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed what you saw today. If you did, hit that thumbs up. It helps me out. It helps me know that you like the content that you see. And you know, if you really like what you see, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out everywhere. I don't know where it is. It's maybe here, 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 maybe there. I don't know. But hit that subscribe button. Hit that also, if you don't want to miss a single episode that comes out, hit that bell. That bell will notify you. If you have YouTube on your phone, it notifies you right away if you got when a video pops up of mine. It will also email you saying this person has put in, that ComicManJake has put up a video, and it really helps me out, guys, because I know you like that content. And let's leave a comment down below. I know Thanos demanded your silence, but it's been about 2 weeks, and most people have seen it by now. What did you think of Infinity War? I mean, did you like what you saw? Did you not? Or are you excited to see Infinity War? I mean, for most of you guys that haven't seen it, well, I shouldn't be saying that because, most of you guys have seen it. So let's go back to the other one. What'd you think of Infinity War? Did you like what you saw? Did you hate it? I mean, no one really hated it, but what parts did you like? What parts you didn't like? And what do you think is going to happen in the next Avengers movie? I want to see, good theories here. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.